Act 2 Start of UA Chapter 8. Don't forget to leave a vote/like on the chapter. It keeps me motivated. 14 months later, Kaido point of view. While everyone packed up and prepared to leave at the sound of the last end-of-day bell before summer break, and for us, our last end-of-day bell for our middle school years, as we begin transitioning into the high schools we were accepted into. I stare intensely at the paper atop my table. I passed my finals with a high enough school to receive invitations to participate in the tryouts for different high-ranking academic high schools. Of the 60, 10 are hero academic schools. Only 2 schools displayed in front of me, lending out invitations, actually interested me. Shiketsu and UA. I look kind of weird as I stare down at the invitations like a weirdo. Intense in thought, charging into the classroom with overbearing excitement and joy. Yu shouts at me with a beautiful smile as she cheered.
Kaido, guess what?
I break out my trance. I look to her as she skids to a stop in front of me, holding an invitation letter to the entrance exams of UA in my face.
Scored high enough to get invited to the UA entrance exams. Isn't that so cool? I might be able to become a hero.
She cheered. A proud smile took form as I congratulated her. Really? That's awesome, you. Just make sure not to slack on your studying. They have a written exam, as well as a physical exam for entry. You'll be participating against the top students in the country. I warned passively, as to keep her on her game. I was so busy listening to you, I didn't notice Rumi had followed her in, granted with less sprinting and overbearing excitement. Also carrying an acceptance invitation to participate in the entrance exams of UA. Though she didn't voice the fact, she stopped around you and noticed the many acceptance papers on my table. I was sifting through, determining which I want to choose and turn into the school board before I left. She spoke as she moved all the papers into a stack, leaving UA's paper out of the stack, sliding in front of me.
You're not seriously considering taking up any other school, are you? You want to be a hero, don't you?
Rumi asked, sort of pressing the idea and trying to choose for me. I turned to her, speaking as I scavenged through the papers for Shiketsu. Speaking logically as I did. Well, of course I want to be a hero. I'm just weighing my options is all. I admit, observing the only 2 options I believed in. Shiketsu and UA.
What's there to weigh? UA is the best hero academy in the country. All Might went there, you know.
Rumi explained in a didn't you know tone. I let out a passive sigh, narrowing my eyes with a soft smile. Yeah, I know. But UA has the lowest acceptance rating in the country as well, with the most participants trying to enter each year. Less than 1% make it past the entrance exams. Shiketsu has a 5% acceptance rate, with far less competition. I have a better chance getting past the entrance exam there. I admit, thinking that it's next to impossible to make it into UA.
I assent that. Sort of the point. You ask me in a kind of confused tone. I look up from my papers onto her, listening. I mean, heroes are always fighting against unfathomable odds, aren't they? I feel like giving up before you try, because it sounds hard is the opposite of what a hero would do.
My eyes slowly open, partially dilating as I listen to her. I lower my head a little, taking my eyes off them, chuckling, if only for a moment. She quickly waved her hands around, eyes closed, and a worriedly embarrassed blush.
Well, of course, I'm not trying to downgrade you, or anything.
She embarrassedly tried to retract what she said, fearing she'd hurt my feelings. When in fact, she'd done the opposite. She'd opened my eyes. You'll make a great hero one day, you. I hope I'm around when that day comes, so I can bask in your glory, if only for a moment. I admit, standing up, ripping the invitation to Shiketsu atop the table, grabbing the UA acceptance letter. Rumi exhaled with a smile coming over her in the moment, a hand on a hip and a sassy look, if I do say. Our dork finally comes back to his senses, I see. I take it we'll be seeing you at the entrance exams. Rumi asked as I nodded, raising a fist to her for her to bump. You can count on it. She bumped fists with me, closing her eyes as her bunny tail wiggle-waggled. Ears and nose twitched a few times in happiness. Good, I'll be waiting. I looked to you, raising a fist to her as well. She raised her fist to bump mine, but I grabbed her by the arm, pulling her into a hug, speaking in a heart-warm tone of thanks. Thank you for opening my eyes, you big weirdo. She blushed heavily, stuttering heavily with a flustered tone, hesitantly hugging me back. Oh, why you're welcome, Kaido. Releasing each other, I spoke in a tone of determination. I'll see you guys at UA. Don't either of you dare lose at the entrance exams. Hear me? Until we're heroes. Got it. Rumi giggled at my chance and confidence in D minor. I don't know about you, but I'm not exactly known for losing to anyone or at anything. I smirk, looking to her with acceptance. Later that day, walking into my room, dropping off my backpack and other things, undressing out of my school uniform as I approached my closet and began picking out more casual clothes like a hoodie with drawstrings and jeans to wear, intent on heading out to the hospital to check on Mom and continue on helping her rehabilitation. The doctors say she might be able to walk soon. She's been through 30 different surgeries over the many months, and she's recovered a great deal. As I'm putting on my clothes, I hear a distinct click at the front door, the lock unlocking, and then the door opening. Who's? Kaido, sweetie. Are you home? Mom's voice carried through the house in a loving, open tone. I chirp up from my room, being swifter in dressing. Mom! Sprinting, nearly tripping into the hallway, skidding as I almost lose balance. Seeing Mom on the other end of the hallway, while I was midway through pulling a shirt over my head. Closing the door, carrying a small baggie. Speaking in a tone of love and greeting. Don't run in the hall, sweetie. You'll hit your head on something if you fall. Ignoring the motherly worry as I ran through the hallway towards her with all my might, one goal in mind. Accidentally knocking the bag out of Mom's grips as I almost tackle her with a bear hug. Speaking in a tone of cheer. You're home, and you can walk. I cheered, tears slowly dribbling down my face of joy. Seeing Mom home, finally home. Bringing arms around me, she hugged me against her softly and brought a hand behind my head, gently running it through my hair. I asked everyone to keep it a secret, but I've been relearning to walk for over 3 months now. I was just waiting for my last checkup before I could be released, so I could try and surprise you. Was it a good surprise? I cried happily into her shirt, staining it with tears as I smiled unconditionally, without control. Yes, sniffle, yes it was. I cheered, taking in the moment. It seems simple, hugging your mom from outside the confines of a bedside or wheelchair. But to me, it was everything. Silent for a brief while Mom smiled a little more, tilting her head a little as she spoke, admiring me in the moment. You've really have grown up so much. You're up to my chin now, she admits, planting a soft kiss on my forehead before we broke our hug. Somehow, that reminded me. My eyes show my sudden realization. Oh, that reminds me. Stay here. I turned sprinting back to my room, giggling as she watched me energetically run off with so much energy. More than I've expressed the entire time she's. Because watching her suffer sapped everything from me, stole the life from my heart. I grabbed my UA entrance exam invitation letter and run back to her, holding it out to her. I got invited to the UA entrance exams. Next week, I cheered, showed her my achievements. She looks over the invitation in silence. A mix of emotions grow over her face. She still didn't want me to, but even after everything, she hesitantly reaches out, ruffling my hair. End of chapter 8.